creatives, and welcome back to my channel and day one of the 12 designs of Christmas. Today we are going to start with creating an advent calendar. So let's start with the box. We're going to use the rectangular shape tool and we're just going to create a 10-inch by 10-inch box on our artboard. I'm going to duplicate that using Control-C, Control-F or Command-C, Command-F if you're on Mac. And I am going to create a shadow behind it by just filling in the box behind with a nice gray color. From there, I have a whole selection of swatches here that I have pre-selected, and I'm going to use the sphere tool to make the ice lake, which is iced over because it is winter and it is snowing in places. And we need a little ice lake for our scenery. To get rid of the excess, I just used the shape builder tool there to the left that I highlighted, and I shape builded out the rest of the lake that we don't need. I then went back to that rectangular tool to create the sky. I just clicked and dragged to put it on the artboard and made a kind of moody color for the sky because, you know, it's snowing, it's in the evening. And then I decided to duplicate the lake to make a snowbank. I added some points using the pen tool, and I also manipulated some points using the white direct select tool from the panel to the left of the screen. I moved the points around to make it look like it has an edge. Changed the color to a light gray. Sometimes when snow has shadow, it's gray. And I applied an effect from the top tabs menu from the toolbar up there, and I applied the roughen effect, and me messing with the toggle switches there just to get it just right. I decided to make it all smoothed out because snow is like smooth and lumpy. It doesn't have any harsh corners really. From there, let's go ahead and create some more like little snow shadows, if you will, and I'm going to apply that same effect using effect apply roughen from distort and transform. My program doesn't show this step because it just doesn't like showing the top toolbar drop down menus for some reason. I also decided to use the background color for the box. Instead of it being a pure white, I did it in off-white, just like the lowest grade percentage of gray, just so we can get some contrast. And then let's work on the trees because we're going to do a Christmas tree forest. I took a rectangular tool and held down shift to make a perfect symmetrical box. And I just deleted one of the corners after turning it into a diamond shape. Duplicated that using Control-C, Control-F. And I decided to pathfind them all together. Let's make a forest by just pressing Control-C, Control-F, or Command-C, Command-F if you're on a Mac. And let's just go ahead and create as many trees as possible in the background of the Advent scenery because I wanted to do some different levels for the trees so it looks like it has more dimension for the box because this is going to be a nice Advent box. So once I had all my trees there, I decided to mess with the placement a little bit. And then I was trying to figure out what I could do with the color of them. So while I'm figuring that out, I decided to make some little snow flurries with the sphere tool. And I'm just Control-C, Control-Fing the whole thing, pressing Control-C, Control-F, by the way, and placing them in different spots all over in the sky. And I'm just going to leave those there for a little bit. And let's move on to our snowman. Oh my gosh, I used the sphere tool to make this cute little snowman. I know snowmen usually have 3 parts to him, but I decided to make him 2 parts because, simplicity. Now that I figured out what I wanted to do with the trees, I thought I wanted to do a linear gradient, but then I wasn't really getting what I wanted, so I just decided to do 3 different green colors because that way you could see what's in the background, which is the darker ones, the middle ground one has the middle tone, and then the foreground ones has the lighter tone of trees, so you can see the dimension happening here just by using color, which is always nice. Then, for the trees, they need something to stand on. They need their little tree trunks, so I took the rectangular shape tool, and I just created little tree trunks from the base of the trees, and then I just fill color of a dark brown that I had chosen already, which is super handy. I widened some of the tree trunks, as you can see here, only because ones that are closer, the tree trunks are going to look wider than ones farther away, so I decided to use that visual difference there and placed those little snow shadows near them. From there, I decided let's go ahead and just shape build out those tree trimmings that are sticking out from the side of the box, because this is supposed to be a little advent box. Moving forward, let's go ahead and create the rest of the snowman. He needs clothes, so let's go ahead and create a hat from the rectangular tool. And then I decided to give him a little scarf made from the sphere tool, which I manipulated using the white direct selection tool. And I gave him the little hang down part of the scarf. And I messed with those points to make it look more of a rounded rectangle than a cylinder. Gave him some little black coal buttons for his belly, and also decided to duplicate those for his eyeballs. And then he needed a nose. There are two ways you can do this. The way I did this is to rectangular tool, create a perfect square holding down shift, and add a middle point using the pen tool, and then delete two of the endpoints, and then connect them all with the pen tool so that you can make a nice triangle. There are many different ways to do this. This is just one way. Moving past that to create some arms for him, because he's armless right now, I used the rectangular shape tool with a lighter brown for the fill, and I just created his skinny little twig arms, duplicated that shape, resized it for his one little phalange finger there, and then I realized that they're upside down. So I reflected them to make them right side up, so it looks like he's saying hi. Then the features needed some more dimension, so I created linear gradients at an angle with his nose, his hat, and then I think I'm going to do some for his body too. But it's a lot of orange. Let's bring that back to blue. I then had to modify some of my colors using the color guide. I love this tool. It's so handy. And I'm just pulling those points along the slider to make it look exactly how I want it to. There we go. So you got highlight and shadow. There's a nice cylinder light source right there. Put it at an angle so it looks all nice and soft. So it gives you dimension for him. And also for the body, let's go ahead and do that. The scarf was a little tricky because the red I chose, it didn't want to, blend well with another red. So I ended up just making do with the red that I wanted, and then a darker version, which I used by getting it from the color guide, that handy tool, and it seemed to have created a little bit of a pattern, like a line stripe pattern on the scarf, which I'm not mad at. I actually thought it was pretty cool, so I just did the same thing over on the hanging part of the scarf there on the left side of the screen. And I thought that was really cute. So let's go ahead and move on to, let's just clean up some little endpoints here. Let's fine tune some details because there is some white space here. There's some points out of place there. And then let's move on and create the little doors that you open on the advent calendar. At first I wanted to do a dotted line, but it proved to be tricky. And then I remembered seeing some have just numbers, so I went with that inspiration and put numbers a little bit kind of everywhere. They had a little bit of an order here when I started, like the 1, 2, 3. But then I kind of just decided to ex-nay the order and order them and just put them wherever I wanted. So in the sky and some kind of hidden in the snow, then one of them in the middle of the snowman's face, the number 4 there. And I even put some hidden in the trees, like number 6. And I think I also put number 10 there as well. I even hid one in the snowbank and also on the iced lake. I put number 12 down there for something a little bit bigger for them. By them, I mean whoever gets this little advent calendar. So I place the numbers exactly where I want them. And from there, I decided to do something I don't always do, and I wanted to put snowflakes in here right after I mess with these points with the white direct selection tool, and I already had created from another design, so I decided to pull from that design, as you can see here, and I put them in the sky in the advent design here, and just resize them holding down shift and downsizing the bounding box. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in my next video for day 2 of 12 Designs of Christmas.